He wants him back. He's sliding back straight into it. Don Casemiro is getting back into the Brazilian national team squad, according to Don Carlo, who is the incoming boss starting the end of this month of May. Welcome to the United of Sport. My name is Webb here with some good news about our team. I'll tell you, I keep saying it consistently. We shall know them by their fruits. Those are the words of the Holy Book, the Bible. It tells us to judge them by their fruits. Amorim's fruits are now sliding back into the national team. The most difficult national team to break into, honestly, should be the Brazilian national team. And guess what? Don Casemiro is back in it. Even before the incoming boss touches down, he's saying, I want him back. I better find him there. That is exactly, for me, what Amorim has done with individual players. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. As I do remind you guys, if you're learning how to earn online, thank you so much. Guys from outside Uganda, some of you are struggling to send the registration fee to me. Some of you are struggling with, but there are so many options. There's Western Union. Some, you can even use mobile money. In this day and age, there should be a way you should be able to send your money to a phone number out of where you are. It's easy. People have done it. So you just need to figure it out depending on where you are and your local terms and whichever works in your area. But guys, I like the fact that many of you in Rwanda, I know people in Rwanda, I talked to a couple recently in Rwanda, many of you in Zimbabwe, in Malawi, in Zambia, in Sierra Leone, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Cameroon, people in Dubai, people in Saudi, people in Qatar, people in Canada, everywhere you are, I acknowledge you, but also people in Uganda, my home, people in Uganda, you too. It's beautiful that you're learning. Guys, educate yourselves about this thing which you're always at. Think money. Educate yourselves about this thing called the internet and how people earn from it. Practically, how do people earn from it? That's what I'm teaching you. If you don't know, come and learn. If you know, well and good. If you don't, come and learn. It's up to you to put in the work, but just know you'll see that there is a huge opportunity in your palms, in the palm of your hand, just here, in your arms, on this phone, is a big-time opportunity for all of us to earn money. It's just a matter of understanding how it works. Let's get into the Amorim football and Casemiro talk now. Now, Casemiro, according to Don Carlo Ancelotti, will be sliding back into his team because, first of all, he has earned it. The recent performances. And you see, if you're a good player, you don't need to play so many games the whole season for you to be seen and brought back into a team. No. Casemiro has not had so many good games. He has had only, if you can count, a handful of good games he has had. But when they are good, they are so good. And we know how good he can be when he's good. So it's easy for you to think that he's back to the good that we knew him for just after a few games. And that's why already we are all saying he should finish out his contract. We are convinced. We are already convinced. He doesn't need a lot of games to convince us. We are convinced already. Carlo Ancelotti is convinced. He was probably waiting when he started talking about Brazil and, possibly managing them. I think he was saying, I hope Casemiro just has one good game to justify me calling him back. And I will. And indeed, Casemiro has been brought back into the Brazilian national team, at least for now. In principle, that has been settled. And the idea is his leadership. That's what Carlo Ancelotti would want him to add mostly into the team. Maybe the physique is not all that, but he's still an important player who will play a part for the minutes he can play with the national team as they try to win titles, because Don Carlo is a winner. He's brought to Brazil to win titles. And if he feels Casemiro can inspire him, certainly he will make good use of him. But, of course, Casemiro might want to first have a feel of winning a title when he plays a part this time in the Europa League final. You do remember that the FA Cup final, which we won, he was not a part of. Eric Ten Hag chooses to dump him from the squad, and the moment Casemiro knew that he was not there, he took it personal, and he opted out of the team, and then we win, because Amrabat played ahead of him, and we win, and those are part of the times when it was all starting to crumble down for him. He was played as a defender, all positions, he was all over the place, but the pressure was too much on him, and I think he probably mishandled a few things here and there. But now he's getting back, and we're beginning to trust him and believe that our player can actually give it to us the way we want it from him, because we know what we bought. from Real Madrid. And really, at his age, he's not that old. You cannot be falling off like you are a 50-year-old footballer. No, you can try and, at least he's now playing reasonable football for his age. He's not as outstanding as he was at Real Madrid or his first season at Man United, but at least he's a shadow of him. He's a sort of, not a shadow, he's I think beginning to give us an idea of the player we loved, we fell in love with. So for me, it's a good thing to see. So the beauty is for me now that he has a final and all this coming out now before the final, it's big time motivation and encouragement for him to feel important. And this is all you need as a player, probably as a human. If you're going into any war, into battle, you need your captain to be, to be hyping you, to be making you feel important, making you feel good, making you feel like this war, this battle depends on you. Now, if they're telling you we'll be back into the national team, really, for a Brazilian who has been there, for a Casemiro who was written off, who perhaps thought himself it was done and gone, and he was never going to play for Brazil again, coming into this final in the Europa with this motivation of Ancelotti immediately pinpointing him and calling him back into the national team, I think is motivation like nothing. Like it can never get better than that. It never gets better than that in terms of motivation. That's exactly what Casemiro needed. That's the psyche needed. And trust me, he's going to bank on it to be a beast on that pitch. And you know him, when he's hungry, he's a beast. When he's hungry, he's a beast. And that's what you want to see. Those are the characters and personalities that Amorim wants to have around his team. That's what you need. So for me, I credit Carlo Ancelotti. I thank Carlo Ancelotti for what for I think making it known that we'd want Casemiro back. And I think for me, it works for Man United. It works in our favor. It pushes one of our most important players. Because I mean, the thing is, if you're going to beat Tottenham, the battles are on in the middle. We know that Casemiro will be probably there with Ugarte in that midfield. You want Casemiro to be on his best behavior, on his A game. When Casemiro is playing at his best level, trust you me, he's unplayable. No Tottenham midfielder can match him. None of them can match him. We know that. So I think for me, this is a timely motivation. You might not have thought about it that way, but I'm just opening your eyes up to the idea that Casemiro is psyched up right for our final, and all thanks to not just Ruben Amorim, who has understood him and given him the opportunity to be called back into the Brazilian team, but also credit to Don Carlo, who has released this information, who has made this public, that he would want Casemiro back into his team and then pushing us into that final with more hunger and motivation. Beautiful stuff that happening there for Manchester United. Now, as we do count down to of course, to this return, to this return to action for this huge important game, and I know that there are games in between now and then, in between now and the final. There are games to worry about, if anything, if you're a fan. For a fan out there, of course, the worry is in how Man United is going to present itself in the game. How are we going to be seen in the eyes of supporters? How are we going to be seen in the eyes of naysayers in these other Premier League games coming up before the end of the season? Whereas we don't want the games, they are not important to us. We do want to perform. We don't want to be beaten consistently and go into the worst records there can be for a club like Man United. I think we've got a pride to protect, and I'm hoping these players get to know it. But the reality is, if you realistically think about it, these players can only give us so much. They can only do so much in their capacity currently. The final, us wanting them to win the final is already huge enough. Even getting there is already an overachievement by the standards of this team and what we know them for, and also the real circumstances where they have changed the manager, it's a new guy, different system altogether, injuries left, right, and center. I think they have really done their part, that anything they do in the Premier League for me at this point, I wouldn't care. Whereas I would want players to play like they know Man United is an important club. We can't lose to Chelsea. We can't lose to these clubs, West Ham and what have you. We can't lose so many games back to back. And even to players, to anyone. It's not a good thing for you to be coming from losses. Psychologically, it's bad. But I do want to say that it's okay for us to just focus on the Europa League and take whatever comes out of the Premier League for now. 2 games to go, what's there to save? 1 game to go in the Europa, everything is there to play for. It takes us back into the Champions League, and probably next season, the story will be different. Maybe Arsene Wenger and his desire to see the Europa League winner stay in the Europa League could happen, because he says they are going to discuss these new rules and laws. And chances are, probably, because I'm sure there are so many people who don't get it, why 15th, 16th place teams in the Premier League are playing in the final of the Europa. It's exposing the Europa League. It's actually depicting it as a weak league. That's the truth. It's presenting it as a weak league. If the 15th and 16th place team in one league are the one competing in your final, and they are now using that, one of them is going to be playing with the champions of champions, the best teams in Europe, it doesn't look good at all on that league. It misrepresents it, but also it exposes all other leagues. All other leagues are being exposed. So I think for me, I won't be surprised if in a few years the rule is changed. And it's okay, you keep trying things and changing things. The idea makes sense that you want clubs you want the Europa League to be valued. Right now, it's the most important league for Man United now, because it's getting them back into the Champions League. And I'll tell you how we shall react as United supporters after winning this title, because I know we are going to win it. How we shall react, I hope I'm not jinxing us. I believe we are going to win it. That's faith, not jinxing, it's faith. So how we react after winning it is going to determine what will be decided by the guys who call the shots. Whether they will keep it that way, that if you win the Europa, you qualify for the Champions League, or whether they will change it. Because this is what they wanted to see, make this competition feel important, that clubs fight in it, they feel it's worth it, because at the end of it, there is something good, because every club would look for the opportunity they can find to get into the Champions League. So if the Europa League is an opportunity, then you're making it competitive. Clubs want to win it to step in the Champions League where the big money is. So for me, I think whichever way you look at it, this Europa League final is so important. People might try to water it down. People might try to, say, disparage it and how it's not an achievement and blah, blah, blah. But from where we are and what's at stake, trust you me, we want to win it, and we are going to win it. And we should celebrate it when we win it. It's 8 days to go. Guys, keep yourself safe. But in the meantime, keep learning this thing called the internet. Come and learn, how does the internet pay? And what can you do as you, in your capacity, wherever you are, whichever color, age, tribe, location, so long as you can hear me, you can see me right now, meaning you've accessed the internet, you can earn from it. Come and learn how. I'm waiting for you. Cheers.